Welcome to the Bahamas. How do you like it? Got myself an orange juice. Got my towel ready to swim in the sea. What about you? Now, to make your experience more real, to be more virtual, get yourself a nice drink, get yourself some chips, and enjoy this episode of Midweek Chill in Bahamas. How do you guys like the scenery? Beautiful clear seas, nice sea breeze, some greenery, white sands. Wow, nothing better than that, right? Now that you're all stuck in your house, in your home, in your bedroom. Wait a minute, I spot something there. There's a shady kind of hut there that says card tricks. You guys game for see some card tricks? Let's give it a try. Let's go. Okay guys, I came into this shady hut that says card trick. Let's see what this lady has for us.
Hello, I'm the shady man. I'm a shady woman. Pick a card.
Right, it's a card trick. We're gonna pick. Which one shall we pick? Which one? Let's go like this. This. Let's go like this.
Okay, put it back.
Put it back anywhere?
Anywhere.
Alright. Anywhere. Put it up.
Okay, I'm going to shuffle it now.
Oh, this is getting better. She's shuffling it. It's not America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent, but in Bahamas it looks good. It's shady lady.
I'm not shady. I'm going to open it up into 3 piles and have the lady tell me where it is. Where was your card, I'm shady man?
Okay. This pile.
Are you sure?
Yes, yes, yes.
Going to put it back in the other 2 piles. Which pile was it? Which pile was it in? Are you 100% sure?
Yes. This card trick's taking a very long time.
Well, be patient! I'm going to guess your card now.
Okay, let's see whether she gets our card right.
Was this your card?
Whoa! She got our card right. This lady, she's so awesome. Okay, I'm sorry, lady. We're done. Now, what did you guys think about that card trick? Shady lady that kind of looks like Captain Jack Sparrow's daughter. Actually, I thought it was pretty good. That was my daughter, Mayan. She learned some of these card tricks during this lockdown from the internet. I mean, it's not some skills that will help her in life, but it's good to just learn something new. I was quite shocked actually when she first did it on me and said, hey, it actually worked. Alright, so I hope you are spending some good time in the lockdown, learning some new things. May not be something that is beneficial for your entire life, doesn't matter. It's better to learn something than to just sit there passively. Later on in Things That Matter, we will talk about ambition and you will understand more why it's important to just be creative and try and do new things rather than to just passively receive, watching Netflix and surfing the internet, but to try something new. Right now we're going to jump over to Pastor Lee and she will have for us gestures and greetings from around the world. Just some fun things and also probably quite useful. Enjoy!
Hi PCO Youth, good to see y'all here again in class skills. Today we are learning different gestures and greetings around the world. It is well known that different gesture means different things, different meanings to different parts of the world. Just for instance, these simple gestures that you can see here, which means okay to you, okay to me, and to the British, to the US people, is fine, everything is okay. However, do you know that this sign, if you put out in Brazil, is very dangerous because it's an obscene sign that should be censored. Okay? And to the Japanese, this just simply means yen, which is their money signs, okay? So a simple gesture like this means different things to different parts of the world. And the second gestures that I would like to show you is this. Have you ever seen this gesture before by holding out your fingertips and start pointing it this way? In the front, they normally do like this. At the side, you can see it's like this, okay? These gestures where I lived for 5 years in North Africa, Algeria, where you first arrived and visited the market, so many people are trying to point this gesture at us and say la best, la best. Initially, I thought they're asking me for money, but later I found out it just means you fine, are you good, which is a fine or good sign. But this sign in Jordan just means that you wait a second. And this sign in Italy just means that you are making a point. Have you ever scratched your ears before? Be careful how you scratch your ear. If you put your hands behind your ear and scratch it this way, this is a very difficult sign where you are talking in Russians, which means you are making things so complicated. Okay? So there's so many things that we do not know. We thought it's fine for us, but it's different meanings to other parts of the world. When you simple signs of yes and no, by nodding your head to say yes and shaking your head to mean no. These two simple gestures, which is common to most of the people, but it is very different. It is a total opposite if you did it in Bulgarians will tell you that when they say yes, it's like this. When they say no, it's like this, with the clicking of the tongue sound. So in Bulgaria, if you tell people you want something and you do like this, it's exactly what you want. And in South Asia country, we have another gestures that means differently, which you tilt your head left and right like this. This just means aha. Aha can means you approve of something, you are wanting, sure, or making it happen. But to the Southeast Asia at time, shaking head like this could also mean uncertainty. You are not sure of what's happening, so you just tweak your head like that. So different gestures have different meanings, and if you want to know more about different gestures, you can look up to the link below, which I have learned it from the site. And also now let's move on with greetings around the world. As we know, greetings are so important for our first impressions of people. How you greet a person, how you show your eye contact, your smile, shaking hands, hug, kissing each other. These are all different greetings that will make you or break you. If you do it correctly, you will leave such great impressions to people that you meet. If you do it totally wrong at that particular country, it might bring disaster on your meet with that person. Enjoy the different greetings around the world. Practice it at home. You will never know. You will have the opportunity to visit most of the country that we mentioned, and you know how to greet people properly. Remember what I say? First impressions is very important. It will either make you or break you. If you want to know more descriptions, it's below here. You can look up and see more greetings around the world. Be blessed. Enjoy yourself.
So, did you learn any new gestures or greetings? Maybe your own place where you come from have a different gestures and different greetings and different meanings anyway. Right, so we're going to go over the things that matter. We want to talk about ambition. Some of you young people, you always hear your parents asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or your grandparent may ask you, what's your ambition? Or in school, you may have to write an essay or what's your ambition. I remember having to do that every year in our English class. What's your ambition? And we have to write an essay. Some of you who are coming up to year 9, year 10, you've got to choose subjects that will go in line with what you plan to do in the future. And then some of you, though you are younger, it's a good time to start considering because it takes time. You don't just discover your ambition overnight, but it takes time, and now is a good time to begin on that. So we want to talk about ambition, and to many of you young people, it will not be very clear, and that's alright. I want to tell you right from the start, it's okay to not be sure what you want to do or what you want to be as your ambition. In today's Things That Matter, where I want to start off with in talking about ambition, is essentially there are two ways to look at ambition. Whether it is what you want to be or what you want to do. Now, for your parents' case and even for your grandparents' case in the past, ambition is what you want to be. That's why they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, businessman. But in these days, we tend to look at ambition more of not what you want to be, but what you want to do. It's important to know the distinction between what you want to be and what you want to do, because it will help you to move along, to discover your ambition, and also it may help some of you to talk with your parents. Sometimes it's just a matter of difference of being and doing. Okay, I'm going to show you what it means. If you think about ambition, about what you want to be, which is your parents' perspective or the older generation's perspective, it is essentially a fix for life. So you train to be a doctor and you're a doctor for life. You train to be a lawyer and you're a lawyer for life, and you cannot change. Well, in today's terms and in today's working world, we do know that most people's career and profession is not fixed for life but open to change. You don't have to remain in the profession just because you started off with it. Okay? So if you start off as a doctor now, it doesn't mean you have to be a doctor for life. And later on, you may change to become a professor or university lecturer. Or you may move into the research and development on medical aspects. Or you may even go to the corporate about maybe a pharmaceutical company and go on to become a director. All this is possible, and so what you do is open to change depending on the season of life. If you look at ambition as what you want to be, similar that is fixed for life, it is often restricted by surroundings. The reason why in your parents' or grandparents' time, why ambition is what you want to be for life is we are restricted by surroundings. You cannot, in those days, they couldn't change. It wasn't so easy. If you train as a teacher, there really wasn't much other options to do something else later on in life. And so they became a teacher for the next 30, 40 years of their life. But in today's society, it's very different. There are opportunities to change your surroundings. So just like right now, you are in Oman and not back in your home country. Your parents have stepped out of their surroundings and come to a new surrounding in order to pursue further their ambition or their career. Likewise, same for you. So it's possible. You don't have to be fixed because you can change. The difference in the past was that because of the limitation of surroundings and it's fixed for life, it meant there were few choices, so it was easy to choose. Easy to choose. I remember when I was growing up, it's just a choice of doctor, lawyer, accountant, engineer, or teacher. These were the standard things. Just 5. But today, I think you can list down 50 to 100 different kind of professions or ambition that you can have because of the many opportunities. But with many, many opportunities comes with too many or so many choices, it becomes difficult to choose your ambition. So that is one of the disadvantages for you young people today. There's so many choices, you've got to try and narrow it down in order to know where you want to go. Fourthly, if you look at ambition as what you want to be, it will require perseverance because it's fixed for life and it's limited by your surroundings. So it doesn't matter whether you find it easy or not, or whether you like it or not, you persevere on. And that's what most of our parents and grandparents did in the past. And that is one very strong attribute that they have, perseverance. They don't give up easily. Whereas for us today, the millennials or the younger people, we tend to change very quickly when we find something difficult or something that we don't understand, something that we don't like. Environment has changed. And so we lack perseverance. And because there are so many opportunities to change surroundings. So in today's world, if you look at ambition as what you want to do, then what is more important than perseverance is flexibility. Flexibility to change with times. And right now we see the pandemic has just hit the whole world. It's coming sort of flattening down the curve, but it's far from ending. But it will drastically change the economic world, and unless people are flexible to change the way they work or their industry that they work or how they work, it's going to be tough. So flexibility is important. And so for you young people, you need to have flexibility for you to pursue your ambition. Fifthly, if you look at ambition as what you want to be, then you will train in specific skill sets. So I want to be an accountant, so I study accountancy. I do the whatever international qualifications that I need to be an accountant or chartered accountant in the future. But if you look at ambition as what you want to do, for example, if you're a person who has interest in people, you like talking to people, you have strong social skills, then you train on these foundation sets. In the future, it allows you to do many different things along your ambition. You could be in the human resource, you could be doing psychology, you could be doing counseling, you could be doing community development, you could even become a teacher, you could become a project manager, all on the simple foundation of people skill sets. So when you start choosing your subjects for your year 9, year 10, and then future on for college or university, look very strongly to the foundational skill sets if you are thinking of a future where you have the flexibility to do different things. If you're a person who enjoys being fixed and you don't like change, you want to be a teacher for life, you want to be an engineer for life, fine, then go with the column of what you want to be and learn to train for specific skill sets. Sixthly, if you train for ambition of what you want to be, then it will be based on your abilities, and this is where you need to be honest with yourself. If you want to be a doctor, do you have the ability? How are you doing in your subjects such as biology and chemistry? How are you scoring in your science subjects over the last few years in school? If you have weak results, weak marks in those subjects, then really abilities will tell you you cannot be a doctor, you cannot be. But if it's something that you want to do, then it's not just based on abilities, but attitude. So your attitude, if it's one that is brave, courageous, willing to try new things, not afraid to fail, willing to take the challenge, willing to explore, then you will be more inclined to look at ambition as what you want to do. You notice that I also put that abilities plus attitude, because you can't just say it's all attitude and have no ability. So I don't need to study, Mom, it's all about attitude. No, you still need the abilities. But what I'm saying is that attitude plays a big role today in society as well. Last but not least, goal of those who pass our parents and grandparents, the goal of their ambition is often personal wealth. And that was because they were restricted by their surroundings. People grew up in poverty or lack of much wealth, and so the goal was always to gain wealth, so to have security and then to pass it on to your children. But these days, because we are much more blessed, young people, you are very much more blessed, the goal really for many of you, your ambition is not so much of personal wealth. Yes, we still do need money, but there are many, many different reasons of why we do certain things. Some people say, I want to pursue this area for my profession because I like helping people. That's fair enough. Or some people, I like to do this media because I'm interested in the arts, interested in communication, and that's fine as well. So there are many variety of goals if you choose ambition on what you want to do. You need to look at how you look at ambition, what you want to be, what you want to do. And when you discuss with your parents, oftentimes the conflict or the misunderstanding appears because of the two different ways of looking at ambition. So lastly, I mean, it's a bummer to talk about ambition here in the Bahamas. The sea is so nice and things are going so well. But nevertheless, the last thing is, well, let's give you some practical steps to help you to work out your ambition. Number one, and this is one that I have to give credit because I saw it on a very interesting YouTube video, which the link is down below, is that we need to decrease consumption and increase creation. Now that video will explain it a lot clearer, I don't have the time for that. Essentially what the author of the video is saying is that we need to decrease passive input. Young people, many of us today have passive input. We just watch things on the internet, we watch TV, we watch music videos, we don't read, because reading requires creativity. You read and you begin to form the image in your mind, you create the emotions. But when you watch a show, the background music, the lighting, the tears from the person, they create everything for you. And we are just basically consuming. And because of this, it becomes very difficult for you to know what's your passion and your ambition. Because passion and ambition requires creativity, requires active output. So I'm not going to talk more about that. The video below describes it very clearly. Do look at it when you're finished this midweek chill. Secondly, be honest about yourself. This is one thing you need to be very clear. You may have high ambitions or you may have different ambitions, but be honest. Do you really have the skills for it? Do you really have the smarts for it? Do you have the tenacity or perseverance or hard work for it? Sometimes you may have a conflict with your parents because they can see and they understand what you want to be, but they can at the same time see who you are right now and it doesn't match. So you need to be realistic about it. The third step, and these are all in successive steps, is to then seek God's guidance. We are Christians and we do seek God for His direction for our life. I'm not going to elaborate more on this because this coming Friday's youth online service will talk more about ambition from a godly or from a biblical perspective. Alright? But needless to say, for us Christians, it's very important to seek God's guidance after we've been honest with ourselves, after we've learned to decrease consumption and increase creation. Next step is to then talk with your parents. You may have had a conversation before, maybe many times, but this time now you understand the difference between being and doing, and approach it from that side. Now when you talk to your parents, let them know your interests and your reasons. Many times young people, your parents ask you what you want to do, maybe this, but the reason, oh no, I just like it. Then it's really hard for a parent or an adult to put confidence in you. You've got to understand they're going to be spending a lot of their hard-earned money just to put you through to university. And so that's why they want very much for you to be sure. And you ought to be sure and have your good reasons in why you want to pursue that line of ambition. Then at the same time, listen to what your parents have to say. Listen openly. Not listen for the sake of listening, but listen and say, hey, is that true about me? Hey, is that what they're saying? Maybe it's something that's good. So that there will be a two-way conversation, and that makes it better for you to discuss about ambition. Then lastly, do take into consideration of your family. Now, we live in a very narcissistic or individualistic world today. I do what I want, I don't care about others. But as Christians, this is a strictly no-no. The Bible tells us we must not consider just ourselves, but we ought to consider others more highly than ourselves, and especially our family. So you need to consider your family. Sometimes family situations does not allow that ambition. You may say, Mom, Dad, you have the money, but well, you do have 2 or 3 other siblings and Mom, Dad has to spread out the money. Sometimes it could be that family members need you. Right? You are probably the eldest. Mom, Dad is not exactly rich and they would like for you to start working as soon as possible. You may say that's not fair. Well, you've got to get used to it. Life really is not fair. And the Bible tells us, as Christians, we need to honor our parents, we need to love our brothers and sisters. So if it's necessary, maybe right now, you want to do certain things but it cannot be done, then shelve it for the moment and get on to do what is necessary so that your family can be taken care of. So young people, while we've been in the Bahamas, I'm sorry if we talk about ambition, but I think these are issues that young people, that do matter to young people and that you need to take it into consideration. Well, that's all the time we have for Midweek Chill this week in Bahamas. I am not sure where we want to go next week. If you have an idea, drop me a line on our email or on my WhatsApp, alright, and let us know and we will try our best to make it do. But for now, instead of taking the magic bottle back to Oman, I really like it here in the Bahamas. Bahamas, so I don't think I'm going to go anywhere soon. You can go on back to Oman, I'm going to stay here. Till next week then, or rather till this Friday where I see you on the PCO Youth Online Service. God bless you young people, take care.